months in which I studied the general sciences there. And was quite experienced in studying abroad at that time in the University of Ife in Nigeria. I came back to the University of Pittsburgh, stayed there for my last part of my stay there, my last year there, and then I went to Los Angeles, California, in which I moved and stayed with my mother and my other 10 brothers and sisters and trained them into the martial arts because I started martial arts at the age of 9. This year would make my study in the arts of martial arts for 51 years now. I'm 60 years of age. And the martial arts, of course, is the foundation of my life, giving me a lot of strength, a lot of positive interaction with myself and other people, of course, confidence and self-assurance. Now, when I came back and moved to Los Angeles, as I would say, I kind of saw the differences in different religions and studying Buddhism and Islam and many other different religions, and I was getting kind of disenchanted. I said, oh my God, our people in these conditions, and God, would you let us be like this? Why? And I was questioning God. So, however, I got a position in teaching and became the director of the Mafunde Institute, which was a cultural institute in the heart of Watts, on the 103rd and Wilmington, in Watts, California. And I became the director there, and I worked with many game programs and brought many games entities together. And the brothers started a group called Brothers Unlimited, which was funded by the United Front Corporation, and it began going around curtailing gang activities. This was a combination of the Crips, the Bishops, the Paradoons, the Dynamites, and many other gang factions to come together to cease that deadly madness and trend of self-destruction. We went to the mountains, took them to the beaches, and made them got them out of the inner city to give them more exposure to nature, the Big Bear Mountains, and desert field trips. So it was a lot of worthwhile experiences there. But back to the crux. I used to take the brothers also to the teaching in the Watts Temple in Watts, California, and there was a brother named Brother Vernon, who's now also named Brother Shaheed, that used to come pick up my brothers and meet us at the mosque and Watts, and I still was wavering in the nature kind of. I knew, and as I began to listen more, there was something there. And of course, when I was in Nigeria, I would listen to brothers say, brothers, I was studying and being Pan-Africanized, so to speak, or being the Pan-Africanism movement. And the brothers in Nigeria would say, brothers, we don't want to hear nothing but the teachers of the Elijah Muhammad. Because we tried to identify with them culturally, but they knew that it took a business and more of a mission from us, and they looked up to us as a people here in the hills of North America. They knew that we were the ones to fulfill the scriptures. However, when I was in Los Angeles, I received word from one of my students that he was having a son and asked me to be the godfather of his son. His name was God, and his father's name was Chris. I also received information from my brother in Boston, who was the assistant dean of Boston University, to be the godfather of his son in Boston, Massachusetts. His name was Robert Scott. By the way, I haven't given you my name. I'm sorry. My name today is, I'm known as Master Shaheed. And I'm known in different parts of the country as Rasan. I was born with the name Bobby Scott in Henderson, North Carolina. I received the name of Kweku Bansu in Ghana, and I also received the name of Rasan Oladun in Nigeria. So I have received different names when I wear them. But the name that I wear now is Shaheed, which means one who bears witness to truth. And I'm bringing this to bear witness to the truth that of an experience that I have lived, and I'm going to come to that point now. While I was in LA, I was sitting in my apartment in Hollywood, and I was listening to, it was in February, the day the messenger physically left us, and I was sitting in my apartment watching, I think it was a basketball game from TV, and to the radio to my left, I was listening to Stevie Wonder's radio station called KJLH, and they were updating every 15 minutes. They were updating the flight of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad from Mexico to Mercy Hospital in Chicago. And every 15 minutes, the pilot, Sultan Muhammad, who was the messenger's grandson, was calling in, but they were updating his flight pattern as well as his location, Texas, Oklahoma, and don't forget, as he was making his way to Chicago, getting the messenger to the hospital. So I was listening intensely to that radio station at that time, as well as the game, of course. But as I looked out my window toward the east, and it was very cloudy that day, and I looked out the window, and it was very cloudy. And I saw a patch of blue sky come through the cloud, filled away, and a patch of blue sky. And as I did, there was a picture or a vision of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad that broke through the clouds. I'm like, whoa, what do I see? I looked around in the apartment, there was not a picture of the messenger at that time. So I think there was a reflection. So I looked around again. I rolled my eyes. And I looked again, the clouds filled away, and there was a picture of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad chest up. Like it was a picture from his head up. Very clear what it said. And I was like, whoa, you know. So my fiance at that time, Jan, she came in the door with Tasha, her daughter, and she closed the door, and I said, listen, I need the keys to the car. And she said, where are you going? I said, I need to go out to Watts to see my youngest brother's father, who was in Baco, who was well known in the Watts area.